Welcome to First Person Defender. Real people put into realistic self-defense training scenarios.
These are real scenarios.
Hey, give me your money.
The role player does not know what's going to happen. We go through the first scenario, see how they handle it, and then we pick one thing that they could have done to increase their survivability, train it a little bit, and then run them through a similar scenario.
Each weapon is loaded with Simunition FX marking cartridges, the most realistic, non-lethal alternative to live ammunition. Simunition is the closest thing to the real deal.
Once you feel the pain penalty once, you don't want to feel it again.
For this type of force-on-force training, role players are required to wear protective gear.
Come on, hit me.
It is as real as it gets. Heart rate's elevated, their respiratory rate's elevated, their adrenaline is dumping into their blood. They are scared and amped up.
I got a gun! Back off!
Get out of my house!
My name's Jared Shaw. I grew up in South Louisiana and spent a lot of time when I was younger duck hunting, but I've done very little shooting with handguns in the past.
Having, a novice and exposing them to a situation and showing them there's a lot to learn, I think he's the perfect candidate.
I spend a lot of time outdoors whenever we can. Take a lot of trips to Colorado, just hiking around here.
He likes to go backpacking, likes to go out in the wilderness, so we're going to kind of put him in a rural setting.
It's going to be essentially a knife attack, and we're going to use a red marker to simulate where he gets cut.
Before the scenario could begin, Greg and Destin briefed Jared on some of the types of weapons he might encounter in the scenario.
These are some of the weapons that you may come into contact with during these situations, whether they're aggressor weapons or available to your disposal.
Now this right here is going to be what we use to simulate a knife attack.
The best tool to use is basically a permanent red magic marker. You can really see every time you get hit.
If it's a poke or a slash, we can tell kind of the severity of that wound. Okay.
When we're doing this kind of force-on-force training, the good guy does not die or become wounded.
Okay.
All right, you fight until the scenario's over or until you hear index. All right, and Destin will be the safety on this one. He'll be following you around the whole scenario. And when he's satisfied or is ready to end it, it's index, 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 and that ends everybody's action.
After a brief explanation on the features and operation of the Smith & Wesson M&P, Jared was ready for the first scenario.
I haven't been told any type of scenarios that we're going to be getting into today, but just looking forward to feeling a little bit more comfortable whenever I actually have to arm myself to defend my family.
So we're going to go down to the gravel road and work our way to the right. We're just going to see how he plays it out and see if he defends himself properly.
And if he doesn't do something decisive, I'm gonna close in on him fast.
Just going to trail over your left shoulder, man. Just go up here to the intersection, keep your head on a swivel, just execute whatever you feel is the safest thing.
Production crew and other personnel in yellow vests are considered invisible by role players.
We're just walking down the trail and noticed Greg out to the right side of me there.
Hey man, how's it going?
Oh, pretty good.
Hey, you got a minute, man?
Yeah.
When the bond between hand and gun feels as true as a perfectly placed shot, it's not by accident, it's by design. M&P, advanced by design.
We're just walking down the trail and noticed Greg out to the right side of me there.
Hey man, how's it going?
Oh, pretty good.
Hey, you got a minute, man?
Yeah. I noticed that he had the knife in his hand.
I tried to give Jared a little fair warning, at least to put him on guard.
But before I could even think to grab my gun, he was there.
I let the scenario play out a little bit because there was times when Greg grabbed the gun, Jared went forward again, and they struggled over the knife and the gun. Index.
All right.
That was quick.
You know, we do this with law enforcement officers and, you know, military personnel and a lot of different trained individuals, and it results first go around always in the same pretty much result. They let us get too close and they get cut multiple times.
Are you bleeding anywhere?
Oh yeah.
It's very, very deceiving of what two human beings can do to one another first off with the proper motivation. You see the nice little X right here? Right here I got both carotid arteries. I actually got a one up here on the face. I got across your chest, across your stomach, intestines. I got up here in your arterial artery on both of them. Those are another major arteries. And I got your femoral twice. Edged weapons are a lot of times discounted in our world of modern firearms. A lot of people think, well, I'm carrying a gun, I'm safe, which is completely the opposite. Every major artery in your body has been cut.
You know, I thought I had plenty of distance whenever I originally kind of assessed the situation.
This is going to be a constant reoccurring theme, and we've said it before and I'll say it again. I don't need to be closer than 7 yards to you for me to hear you tell me the time, or to ask you for a cigarette, or to ask you for money.
All right, so now we're gonna put you in a scenario called the Tueler drill.
There's the what they call the 21-foot rule. It basically says from 21 feet and in and closer, a person with an edged weapon is almost more dangerous, if not deadlier, than someone with a firearm.
You basically, when you see him move and come towards you at 21-foot distance, you're going to attempt to draw and shoot him with the Simunition rounds.
Okay.
And we'll see with that edge weapon if he can get to you before he can shoot.
And they've done this drill multiple times, even with trained law enforcement officers, where based on the knife attacker's movement, that officer needs to draw and engage, you know, with deadly force rounds and hits. And they usually always end up getting cut at least once.
Basically, we've marked off 10 feet, and behind Greg is 21 feet. So we're gonna start him off at 10. This is about the distance where he started to engage you in conversation in the drill. So we'll do one scenario at 10 feet, but we just wanna see if you can actually get the gun out and get rounds effectively on him, center mass, before he gets to you.
So I don't need to do the
No, you want me doing the knee
Don't crane
break.
kick me, please.
before you.
Right.
You good?
Clear.
You all right?
Yeah, I'm fine. Normally I would think the distance that he started at me would be more than enough distance.
All right, so again, same scenario. We've moved back now exponentially to 21 feet. This is the true nature of the drill. So again, once you see him moving in an aggressive intent towards you, that's your cue to draw, okay?
Now I gotta ask you, would you ever think you'd have to draw your gun with someone with an edged weapon from this distance?
No, never.
And that's the thing, most people don't. We're good?
Well, not bad. Now see, now his knife hand is still clear.
And I still got to him with momentum.
So you got 3 hits on him. You got one in the ribs, one in the shoulder, or in the bicep, and one in the forearm.
One of the things that we constantly try and express is people tend to want to be too polite,
Yeah.
and in doing so they put themselves in jeopardy.
It's kind of my nature to talk to folks, and it's kind of what I enjoy about being in the outdoors.
Nothing saying you can't have a smile on your face, can't be polite, can't use sir.
It's not necessarily in our human nature to see everybody as a threat.
You have to draw that line in the sand. You can be a nice guy until it's time to not be a nice guy. So if you say, hey, you know what, stop right there. Let them know right away not to come any closer, especially if with your wife, if you're with your kids. If you think something's wrong, and you think they're up to something, you're probably right. Let your instincts guide you.
Black Ops, the baddest tactical 1911 on the planet.
If you need a gun, you need XS Sights. They give you an advantage in high-stress, low-light situations. For more information, go to xssights.com. If you need a gun, you need XS Sights.
Nosler Defense Ammunition is loaded up front with the bonded performance line of bonded core defense bullets. Professionals trust their next move to Nosler Defense.
First Person Defender, brought to you by XS Sights, Smith & Wesson, Nosler, Crimson Trace, Simunition, and Remington.
This next scenario is going to be very similar. You're going to be walking down a trail.
There's not much we can do to really throw a curveball and keep that scenario the same. And we wanted Jared to be able to use his newfound tools, primarily the mental tools that he'd been given.
Approach it a little bit differently this time.
All right, we're going to do the scenario again. Now, you've had some training. What I don't want you to do is pick up where you left off. This is a whole new scenario. A lot of people, when you do this kind of training, they think, okay, the second I see any movement, I'm drawing my gun. So I want you to just take it one step at a time, keep that situational awareness on. And we have to read the situation and let it unfold.
Hey, man. Hey. What are you, some Mac or something? Hey.
I started immediately being a little bit louder, a little bit more aggressive verbally with him.
I'm just. Are you knocked or something?
You want to stop right there for a second? What's your problem? You sure?
What do you say? Whoa, man.
Right there.
Whoa, it's cool.
No, it ain't cool. I told you to stop and you kept walking forward.
Man,
And then I started kind of cheating my way toward
I was
him.
just asking. Man, chill, man.
Look, you better stop right there,
Or what?
or I'm gonna shoot you.
What are you gonna shoot me for?
Because you're coming at me and I'm asking you.
I don't got nothing, man. I don't even got a gun or
Shoot me
nothing.
right now.
What, are you gonna shoot an unarmed
You
man?
got one more chance to stop.
You
take
gonna shoot an
another
unarmed
step,
guy?
that's it.
Is that what you gonna do? Look,
Once he saw that the aggressor kept coming, and he wasn't yielding to his verbal commands.
Stop.
what, you a big boy, you can't hear yourself?
All right, index. Go ahead and reholster. All right, how did you feel about that one?
I feel like I might have shot you a little early, but I told you to stop.
He kept encroaching your space.
And if he let me get close enough, I was going to take that gun from him. Did I have a weapon?
No, and
Well,
in fact, I did. I
You don't know that. Right,
Yeah.
exactly. You don't know that. Did I have a gun?
Right. No, I don't know.
Yeah, I did. I had your gun, if you let me get close enough to you.
Yeah.
You already made your intent clear, and you had a gun pointed at me. Now, if I continue to encroach on that space, there's something seriously wrong there.
Right.
All right?
Are we telling you, to shoot an unarmed person? No, but we're telling you you're the only person that can be that judge.
First off, you came at me aggressively when I was going opposite direction, and then you asked if I was a narc. So immediately, I think you're doing something that you shouldn't be.
I'd be willing to bet when you engaged me, I was within that 21 foot.
Yeah, close.
Yeah, maybe a little closer. And the biggest thing is you picked up on my verbiage. Are you a narc?
Yeah.
All right, why else would I be asking that unless I was doing something?
Jared, after going through both scenarios, we saw a drastic improvement.
It's just the most eye-opening thing I think I've ever been a part of as far as defending myself.
I think Jared was the perfect candidate for this. He's a big guy, he's a manly guy, he works in the oil field industry, he drives a big jacked up truck with mud tires, and he's a big dude.
No matter how big of a guy you are, how tough you think you are, how many past experiences you have, you're not gonna stop somebody approaching you intending to really harm you.
He's very friendly, and that's good, and I don't want to take that away from him, but now he knows the other side and how quickly it can turn.
You gotta really be thinking about your situation, your surroundings a lot more than we have in the past.
You have to have that mean gene. Draw that line in the sand, and that's a switch. You cross that line, I'm turning that switch on, engaging that mean gene, and then it's a different guy.
Hopefully he walks away from this with knowledge on a better way to defend himself.
Yeah, good job. Much better this time. Look at the shirt, man. No red. That was good. Yeah,
All right,
absolutely.
thank you.
I think this was a perfect thing for him. He's a dad, he's a husband, and now, hopefully, I want him to keep that t-shirt as a reminder.
It's definitely worth spending the time to actually get some good professional instruction.